As a great poet said, Coca-Cola. Sometimes war. Probably something that happens between now and 2124 and not something prior. Technology. War. And war technology. How we handle the water shortages in the Southwest. It will either be an insane migration disaster or a miracle feat of engineering. The resource wars. Capturing the last large iceberg and towing it with 2 aircraft carriers. Toy Story 2. The technology revolution since last 2 decades, Silicon Valley will be remembered in the same category as Florence, Venice for Renaissance. Making the prophetic film Idiocracy. Its pivotal role in transforming humanity through the rapid escalation of technological development. Reddit is so petulant. US was the superpower that developed in the 20th century. Became world superpower. And developed much and advanced much of the world's technology that propelled the 20th and 21st century. Whether that stays remains to be seen, but to ignore its contributions in 20th and 21st century is revisionist. Edgy teen comments. Removed. Being the only country that adamantly refuses to use the metric system for the general public. For Coca-Cola and Burger King. The idiots that gave it all away. Space exploration, medical innovation, and technological innovation, specifically AI. We likely will not have another world war. Climate and other ecological changes will be harsh, but humanity will rise to the occasion. Plus all countries will be blamed for that. Current issues like Trump or whatever will be long forgotten by most people in 100 years. We will not implode, so none of the capitalism failing people will be right. Which they wouldn't anyway, because we're only semi-capitalistic. People living in space will be huge in 100 years. People will be living longer and healthier lives in 100 years. Technology and AI will be even bigger parts of people's lives in 100 years. These 3 things are what will be central to most people's lives then. And the USA will be remembered as central to the development of all of them. Not to say other countries. Notably China. Won't be. Crush and Puss. The country that decided to drop the second nuclear bomb days after witnessing the devastating deaths of the first bomb. Dropping the first in civilian city itself is a crime against humanity. Very easy to have dropped it a mile off the coast and issue a threat. Dropping the second is just. I can't accept that we actually live in such a world where a decision like this was made. Probably something to happen within the next 100 years. Xbox. Harambe. For having had a really ironic name in our final days. The United States was the world's first modern democracy. At the time of its independence, the world was full of tyrants, monarchs, and potentates. The US will be known for a transition from that era to current one where even the most authoritarian leaders styles themselves as a president. Cultural and business, economics impacts at a structural level. Once fossil fuels are no longer an economic driver, these may become even larger. Everything in the lyrics to Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire." Global terrorism. Hopefully abolishing the two-party system. This brings out the worst in your population. You guys can't find mutual ground for anything because it means you're not pro-opposite of the other party. It's just very silly observing this from the other side of the planet. Neck-bearded Redditors. Our diversity has always been our most competitive advantage on the world stage. It was what we were most well known for 100 years ago as well. I'm not sure we'll be around to answer that. Music and film. Those are our biggest cultural contributions over the last 100 years that will be remembered many years from now as well. Especially jazz, blues, rock and hip-hop, as well as our movies. Having everything and fucking it up. Being the most powerful military and economy in the history of the world. How massive of an influence it has. There's a documentary called A World Without US that explore what would happen if the US never existed. Military power, technology, people and books talking about how great a country it once was, only to go the way on Venezuela and never fully recover. The US won't truly be appreciated until it's gone. Depends on if that happens in the next 100 years. Whatever Britain has been known in this century for whatever they did in the last century, the USA will be known for the similar things in the next century for whatever they are doing in this century. Crimes against humanity. The first nukes tested and the first nukes used in war. If civilization has ended and people in 100 years are looking back on where it all went wrong, then the US will be the logical starting point. If civilization hasn't ended yet, nuclear proliferation will make the threat of nuclear annihilation an even greater existential threat than it is now, so it will still be top of mind for many. Having enough wealth to fix the climate crisis 10x over but not doing anything about it. McDonald's. Guns. Gun violence. Weak tea. The Boston Tea Party will not be forgotten. To quote a prophet, movies, microcode, and high-speed pizza delivery. Bud Light. Our collapse. Probably. Skynet. The Great AI vs. Martian War of 2089.